So as part two of talking about subqueries and the ability to take query results and manipulate them into different things, what we're going to do is extend the subquery one step further, and we're going to actually customize the final result set. So what happened in our last videos, we basically went through and we selected all of the products by product category, wrote a query for that, and then we went up a layer and said, okay, now we're going to grab all the sales order details based on those product IDs. Then we went up another layer and said, let's grab all of the sales order headers based on that sales order ID from the details. Then we went up one more level and said, let's grab all of the customers by their customer ID from the customer ID out of the sales order header. Now, first of all, I want to address that you may be looking at this and saying, well, couldn't we have just done a join? And yes, in this case, because of the way that the data is structured in this database, we could have easily produced the same results using a standard join. What I'm really here is to articulate and demonstrate that you can also perform the searches and filters based on other criteria and using a different query structure. You will probably run into, at some point in your career, running into data that's not designed to be relational to one another. There's no primary foreign key relationship. What you're dealing with instead is data that's loosely related, and then you need a way to be able to extract data from one table, extract data from another table, and then eventually join those two result sets together and come up with something meaningful from it. And that's what this approach really allows you to do. Now, with this, I want to take it one step further. I want to actually get to a point where we have a result set that's actually quote-unquote usable. So what I'd like to do then is make it so that we actually get mailing address information out of this result set, not just basic customer data. So to do that, first of all, we're going to need to identify what fields or columns we want to choose from the customer table. And I'm going to choose the first name, the last name, and the company name. And then I want to also get the address for mailing. So we're going to have to then do another join here. And this will be sales LT, customer address. And we'll join on customer ID equals customer address dot customer ID. And then we'll join on sales LT address on customer address ID equals address dot address ID. So now by doing that, we've now extended our result set. Now you may see that customer ID here is showing up with a red squiggle, and that's because the customer ID field has now become ambiguous. It doesn't know which table we want to reference it. So I'm going to reference the customer table specifically for customer ID. That'll resolve the ambiguity. So now we can go ahead and extend further our select statement. So let's go ahead and actually just do this. We're going to do a comma star. And I'd like to see what data I'm getting back from the customer address, and address tables. So to start out, everything from the left is going to be the customer table. And we're going to work our way over here. And eventually we'll hit the customer ID field. And then we have the customer ID, so that's coming from customer address. And then we have the address field. Then we have shipping address types as well as main office types, so we'll want to filter on those. And then coming further over into the address table, we have address line 1, city, state, zip, and province. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to grab the address line 1, address line 2. We're going to want the city, state, and province, and zip code. I'm sorry, it's postal code. And that will give us a pretty strong result set. Now the challenging part we're going to have here is that while we're getting that result set, we're probably grabbing both shipping and mailing addresses. So what we need to do is we need to further filter this down, and we can do that in our where statement. So right now this is basically an entire where clause. So I'm going to put something in front of it, and I'm going to say where the customer address dot address type is main office. Let's see what kind of results we get there. We still get back a result set that's acceptable. So now from here we could take this data and we could actually feed it into some sort of mail merge tool and then generate mailing labels from this data, and we have actually good structured data, and this is all based off of customers who purchase touring bikes. So by combining both the subquery, as we did here with this block, and even doing standard joins with a basic where clause, we're able to generate a pretty good tight result set of just 8 customers. Now, this is a very good result for us being able to look at, potential sales opportunities, demographics and quality and size of particular demographics of customers based on purchase habits. Things like that can be kind of extracted by utilizing these subquery concepts and being able to do data analysis.